I want to introduce you to the Galgos. This is Blossom. That's Jasmine. And over there, trying to escape, is Moon. Lucky, come here. This is Lucky. She's not a Galgo. She's you're very wet. I think I'm going to stand up for this because I'm going to get soaking wet. If you like skinny nosed dogs, or just dogs in general, then this video is for you. Oh, here's Moon, come to say hello. I want to tell you a story about Galgos, and that's what this channel's about really. It's about raising the awareness about these beautiful animals and the trauma that they go through to the point where they get, hello Jasmine, to like this. And this is, we foster Galgos and adopt them. That's another story for another video. We're supposed to be a foster only, but Blossom and Jasmine are now part of our household. If you've never heard of a Galgo before, you were like me about 6 or 8 months ago. Galgos are a Spanish dog. They are bred for hunting in Spain. They might look a bit like a greyhound, and they're not a greyhound. They're a totally different breed. They're in the sight hounds group, but they're not a greyhound. They're used for hunting hares in Spain. And in Spain, they're not seen as pets. They're just seen as tools, disposable tools. And at the end of a hunting season, at best, they get rescued by a shelter in Spain and then fostered and then adopted by a charity like Project Galgo, the charity that we work with to foster, hello Jazzy, to foster them. At worst, they get abandoned, they get tortured, they get killed. Jasmine here, she's only got 2 teeth, haven't you, Jazz? Because she was suffering such neglect that she had infections all in her gums and she had to have her teeth removed. This was all before she got, oh, she likes that bit. This was before she got to the UK. Thankfully, she was rescued in a shelter in Spain and now she's living her best life with us. That was Moon. Dylan in the background, he's not a Galgo either. Dylan, well, he deserves a whole channel for himself, and it will be a whole video for himself. But Dylan is from Romania, and he is a special dog. Does not like playing with the Galgos. He tells them as such. Then we've got Lucky. She's not a Galgo either. Lucky, come here. Lucky was a breathing mum, weren't you? And you're the doggy that kickstart our love for rescuing dogs, because we got her from a breeder and she was in a right sorry state, weren't you, Lucky? And she was overbred, just basically left in kennels. Her muscle tone was non-existent. She was not in a good state. And then over there, wherever he is, he's doing his own thing. What's going on? I'm going to have to stand up. And our first dog was Chase. Chase! He might come if I call him. He's in the dog park somewhere. Chase! He's gone. We got him as a puppy through lockdown, so he was the #1 resident dog. So I think I've given you the whole roll call of the 6 dog. Here he is. Hello, Chasey. Good boy. There he is. There was Chase. There was one more dog, Crypto. We fostered Crypto for a little while. At the back end of the summer in 2025, we were asked by another charity if we could step in as an emergency foster. And this is kind of where our story starts when it comes to fostering. Crypto was in a house in the UK, but he came from Romania originally and he wasn't in the right place, and we fostered him for a short period of time. And then thankfully, Crypto found a forever home. So how do we get to this dog park in Cambridge today? In April 2026, what happened? Why have we got 3 Galgos? Like you do, sitting online, something pops up on your Facebook feed. It was a charity and a picture of a dog the charity was called Project Galgo, and obviously it was Galgo dogs. I was like, I've never heard of a Galgo before, but they're very beautiful looking dogs. It's like, what is that? Is that a greyhound? I don't know, what is it, a lurcher, whippet? So I went on a spiral of investigation and I found out exactly what I've just said. The Galgos, they have this historic abuse in Spain, and there are people behind the scenes championing them and helping rescue them. And I delved a bit more and I watched the documentary called Yo Galgo, and I would strongly recommend you watch that. It's a hard watch because it really highlights what happens to these beautiful animals. And I'm going to give you just one one example, and thankfully this doesn't happen as much now, and hopefully it doesn't happen now at all, but it has done historically, and it just gives you a bit of an insight into how these animals get treated. They are used to hunt hares, and when the hare is running, if a galgo cuts a corner, it's deemed that they're cheating, and it's deemed that they are disrespecting their owner, and because of that disrespect they need to be punished, and then they might get beaten, or there is a tradition of, it's called piano playing, and it's when a dog is hanged. Yeah, and that's all I need to say about that. It's when a dog is hanged and their legs, well, they can't touch the floor, hence the piano playing. Anyway, on to more positive notes. I was there online feeling this deep urge inside me, like I've got to do something. So I spoke to my wife, Donna, who, she's the dog crazy lady in our household, to be honest. And she said, I don't know about this because they're potentially quite high maintenance. They jump really high. If you let them off the lead, we are in a dog park by the way, if you let them off the lead, they're just going to run off because they're a sight hound and they want to just chase things. So a couple of days went by and I was like, Don, we need to do something. She said to me, Paul, just do what you need to do. And that was a green light. So I reached out to Project Galgo, filled in the foster forms, went through the process. So if you're intrigued about the process of fostering, how it works, you go onto the website, you complete the form, you do a home check, you hopefully pass the home check, make sure that your garden fences are high enough. And after a couple of false starts, look, he's just jumped in the water again. We got a call from Helena, who runs the charity, and said, here's a list of dogs coming over, can you take them? We've got 2, Jasmine and Blossom, who have formed a real strong bond in the shelter. Ideally, we'd like to keep them together. So us being us, said, do you really think somebody's going to take both of them? And she wasn't sure. So we asked Sonny, who is our youngest child, who's 10. So Sonny, should we take both of them? Of course, he said yes. So we ended up with Blossom and we ended up with Jasmine. And between then, which was in November 2025 and it's April 26 now, we're not fostering them anymore, we've adopted them. But that is for another story. And if you want to find that other story, you need to subscribe because there is a lot has gone on between then and now. A lot of happiness, a lot of trauma, especially for Blossom. A lot of trauma for Blossom. But she's coming out the other side of it. Of intrigue for you there. But they love it. As you can see, these two are absolutely amazing. And they still love each other. They don't need to be as pinned to each other as much as they were once. And then a couple of months ago, I think Donna may have been having a bad day at work. She said, I think we should get another foster. I don't need to be asked more than once. So straight away, reached out to Project Galgo. I was like, right, we can get another one. And they were like, you sure you've got 5 dogs already? And people think we're crazy. Yeah, and we are, because 6 dogs is a lot of hard work. It is a lot of hard work. But it's something that we want to do. We want 6 dogs, don't we? We want more dogs. We want to be able to help as many dogs as we can. So we reached out again, and then Moon came over, and we are doing our very best to foster Moon. Whether that foster becomes an adoption, time will tell. Let's see if I can get her over. Moon! 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 Hopefully she's not escaped out the dog park. Just when I stopped the video, and I was like, hope she hasn't escaped out the dog park. There she came round the corner. Thankfully. Yes. So that is us. That is us. We're all here. I won't... Chase, come on. Chase, come here. Lucky. Oh, geez. We've got Chase. We've got Lucky. We've got Dylan. He's not going to come into shot. Let's see if I can move it into... See if I can get him into shot. There he is. We've got Dylan over there. And if you want to see the ups and the downs of fostering Galgos, because you might just think, actually, I would like to get involved in that. I've got a house which would be perfect for one of these beautiful, beautiful doggies, then subscribe. And if you have got a Galgo, if you've had experience with them, or just if you rescued any dog whatsoever, let me know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you, wouldn't we, Bloss? Yeah? We would.